Okay, so now we're going to talk about the actual scene window. Okay, so our scene window, if you'll notice, I can move around the scene by right-clicking and then just move my WAS and D keys, much like you would a first-person shooter. Okay, and there's other ways you can get around as well in the world. I can come up here and say, instead of saying shaded, I could go and say wireframe. So now my scene view is actually in a wireframe mode. Or I could say shaded wireframe. There's all kinds of different options you have. We're not going to get into any of this right this second, right? But so by default it's shaded, and that's what we're going to leave it as. The other thing we could do is if we're working like on a 2D game, we could just lock ourselves into a 2D view. So by clicking 2D, now we're locking on, and we're only seeing the kind of our X and Y, and we're locked on a Z plane. Okay, versus by uncheck it, now we're still in our 3D view, and I can click around. So Unity has built-in lighting, and by default it's on, and you can check that and turn it off if you wanted to. And if I want audio to play on or off, I could check that. And then my skybox, I could uncheck my skybox, so the default skybox and fog and flares and animated materials didn't display. Okay, so by default they're all on, and we'll talk about these in other courses, exactly how they work and what the benefits of them are. Now, we're not going to go into all the details here on the gizmos, but just know that if you need to modify a gizmo, and if they're displayed or whatever, you can actually go up here to our gizmos. Okay. Notice I can type in cube up here on my search, and it's going to search my hierarchy. Okay. The same thing as typing it down here. Okay. So if I type it up here on my scene or down here in my hierarchy window, it's just going to search. It's just going to search what's inside of my hierarchy. Okay. A scene window is just a representation of what's in our hierarchy, which is just a representation of what's actually inside of our scene file.